One rubber ring can empty your engine of oil in seconds. It costs $1, and it hides where you'd never look. There's no warning light and no noise. Just a fresh oil change quietly killing the very engine it was supposed to protect. I've watched it happen to careful owners and to trained technicians. A bad oil change looks exactly like a good one when you turn the key. So here are the 9 mistakes that kill engines, ranked by how fast they do it. Stay to the end for the 2-minute check that catches the ones you can still fix. Mistake number 9, the double gasket. Honda had to publish an official service bulletin reminding its own trained technicians to check for this mistake. Think about that. Factory-trained techs doing oil changes all day, and the manufacturer still put it in writing. That's how easy this one is to miss. Here's how it happens. When the old filter comes off, it's supposed to bring its rubber sealing ring with it. Sometimes it doesn't. The ring peels away and stays stuck to the engine, hiding under a film of dark oil where you would never spot it. Then the new filter goes on with its own new gasket. Now 2 seals are stacked where the engine was built for one. They might hold it idle. But once oil pressure climbs under load, they let go. The engine can pump 3 or 4 quarts onto the pavement in seconds, and that oil pressure light on your dash won't save you. It measures pressure, not level. By the time it flickers on, most of your oil is already on the road behind you. The worst one I've come across was a 2-year-old sedan with 12,000 miles on the clock. A lube shop changed the oil, and the old gasket stayed behind. The owner made it a few miles before the engine let go. The warranty didn't cover it, because the shop's mistake isn't the manufacturer's problem. He paid for a replacement engine on a car he had barely finished breaking in. The fix takes 5 seconds. When the old filter comes off, look at it. If the rubber ring isn't on the filter in your hand, it's still on the engine. Go find it and peel it off. Then wipe the mounting base and run a finger around it to be sure. Check the old filter every time. No exceptions, no matter who did the last change. That mistake dumps your oil all at once. The next one destroys the part that's supposed to hold it. Mistake number 8, the strongman drain plug. I stopped counting the oil pans I've seen condemned by a $19 oil change. Tighter feels safer. With a drain plug, tighter is how you buy a new pan. The plug doesn't seal because you muscled it. It seals on a small crush washer, and that washer is a one-time part. It squashes flat once to fill the gap, and it will never do that job properly again. Hyundai tells its own technicians to fit a fresh one every time and torque the plug to 29 foot-pounds. That's a firm pull on a short ratchet, not both hands and a grunt. Go past it and the math turns against you. A steel bolt is stronger than the aluminum pan most modern cars use, so the threads that give way are the pans, not the bolts. Stripped threads mean a thread insert if you're lucky. If you're not, it's a new oil pan, and that runs several $100s installed. All for a part that did nothing wrong. Under-tightening bites just as hard, only slower. Heat cycles and vibration walk a loose plug outward, drip by drip. Then the oil light comes on at 70 miles an hour. Now here's the part almost everybody misses. That old crush washer can stick inside the drain hole exactly the way a filter gasket sticks to the block. It's the same mistake as number 9, wearing different clothes. Thread a new washer on top of the old one, and the seal will weep for weeks while you blame the plug. And Hyundai put teeth behind it. Damage an engine by ignoring those guidelines, and they'll bill the dealer for it. Read that for what it is. Hyundai looked at how oil changes actually get done, decided a stuck washer was likely enough to cost it real money, and moved the bill onto its own dealers. So use a fresh crush washer every time. Look in the drain hole before the plug goes back, then tighten it snug, plus a small nudge, and stop. Mistake number 7, the generous pour. You're standing at the fender with half a quart left in your hand. The stick already reads full, but a little extra can't hurt, right? Cheap insurance. So in it goes. That's the moment the trouble starts. When the oil level climbs too high, the spinning crankshaft starts slapping through it like a blender blade. It whips air into the oil until it turns to foam. And foam is the one thing a bearing cannot live on. The bubbles collapse under load, the protective film breaks, and metal touches metal. Now here's the cruel part. Your dipstick still reads full. The gauge that's supposed to warn you is the one telling you everything is fine. That extra pressure also goes looking for a weak spot, and it usually finds a seal to push past. Let me be straight with you, because some videos oversell this. Half a quart over won't grenade a modern engine. Don't panic over a slightly generous pour, but a full quart or more above the top mark is a different animal. Park it and drain the excess before you drive. That's blender territory. Getting it right costs nothing. Park on level ground first, because a sloped driveway will lie to you in both directions. Then pour, wait a minute, and check. The gap between the two marks on the stick is roughly a quart, so you always know how much room you have. More oil is not more protection. The line on the stick is the protection. If this list is saving you money, subscribe for more straight answer car care. Mistake number 6. The dry ring. The rubber ring on a new oil filter is the only thing standing between 60 pounds of oil pressure and your driveway. Most people install it bone dry. That sets up 2 different failures at once. The first shows up a day later. Dry rubber doesn't slide against metal. It grabs, twists, and pinches as you tighten the filter down, and a twisted seal can tear in ways you'll never see from underneath. It holds while you check your work. Then it starts weeping once the engine heats up and pressure climbs. That's where mystery leaks come from. The change looked perfect on Saturday, and the spot on the driveway shows up Tuesday. The second failure is sneakier, and almost nobody connects it. A dry gasket slowly bonds itself to the engine like glue. A bonded gasket is exactly how the stuck ring from number 9 gets created in the first place. Install one filter dry today, and you may have set a double gasket trap for whoever does the next change. That person is probably you. So dip a fingertip in clean oil and wipe a thin film all the way around the new ring. And here's a warning I rarely hear anyone give. Never use grease on that seal. The filter makers put that one in writing too. Grease doesn't dissolve into the oil the way a film of oil does. It sits there and fights the seal it was supposed to help. Spin the filter on by hand until the gasket touches the base, then go about 3/4 of a turn further. That number is printed right on most filter cans. Hand tight only. A wrench is for taking filters off, never for putting them on. 1 drop of oil, 3 seconds of work, 2 leaks prevented. That's the whole verdict. Mistake number 5. The bargain jug. Don't pour that discount jug into your engine yet. Check 2 things first: the grade on your oil cap and where the jug came from. Start with the grade. Those numbers on the bottle aren't marketing. Take 5W30. The first number is how easily the oil flows on a cold start, and the second is how thick it stays once the engine is hot. Your engine was built around one specific combination. On modern engines, the clearances that oil has to protect can run under 20 microns, which is thinner than a human hair. Feed a tight, turbocharged engine the wrong grade, and nothing dramatic happens. No light, no noise. It simply wears, quietly, every mile for years. And say an oil-related failure shows up under warranty with the wrong grade in the pan. You've handed the manufacturer a reason to fight the claim. The right answer is printed on your oil cap or in your manual. Use exactly that. Now the uglier half. Counterfeit motor oil is real. The American Petroleum Institute has caught oils wearing certification marks they were never authorized to use. The bottles look convincing, the price looks wonderful, and what's inside can be dyed base stock that protects your engine about as well as cooking oil does. You cannot tell by looking at the fluid. I won't buy oil from a seller I don't recognize, and I won't buy it at a price that doesn't make sense. The parts store, the big box chain, the dealership. That's the whole list. A $5 discount on fake oil is the most expensive oil you will ever buy. Mistake number 4. The Prefill war. Scroll the comments under any oil change video and you'll find the same fight. One camp swears you have to pre-fill the new filter with oil, or you're murdering your engine with a dry start. The other camp calls it an old wives' tale. Both sides are half right, and the industry settled this years ago in a document neither camp has read. Here's what's true. A new filter goes on empty. For the first couple of seconds after startup, the pump is busy filling it while the engine waits on full pressure. But modern filters have an anti-drain back valve, a one-way valve that holds oil in the filter after you shut the engine off. The pump primes in seconds. A dry filter will not kill a modern engine, and anyone who told you otherwise was selling fear. Now the part that settles it. The Filter Manufacturers Council answered this years ago. And the answer is neither never nor always. It depends on what you drive. On a turbocharged engine, pre-filling can genuinely matter, and your manual has the final word. On most everything else, it's a nice to have and nothing more. The practical version depends on which way your filter points. If it mounts vertically and opens upward, fill it most of the way. Pressure builds quicker and the startup is quieter. If it mounts sideways or upside down, don't fight physics. Pour oil in, let the filter material drink it up, tip the excess back into the jug, and install it damp. Either way, the gasket still gets its film of oil. That part is never optional. Worth saying, the mistakes people make during the change itself are a whole separate minefield. We counted down 19 of them in our 19 oil change mistakes video. So pre-fill it if it points up, soak it if it doesn't, and don't let anyone scare you about a dry filter again. Mistake number 3, the victory lap. Fresh oil, new filter, everything torqued right. And this is the exact moment plenty of drivers throw it all away by firing the engine and pulling straight into traffic. Walk through what's happening in there. In the first 3 seconds, the pump is still filling that new filter and pushing oil to the top of the engine. Your camshaft and lifters are waiting their turn. Through the first minute, pressure is stabilizing and every passage is refilling. Over the first 10 miles, the fresh oil finally reaches operating temperature, and every seal settles in under real load. Load the engine hard anywhere early in that timeline, and you're asking unprotected parts to do their heaviest work at their weakest moment. The wear never announces itself. It banks quietly, change after change, year after year. Then it all gets withdrawn at once, somewhere north of 100,000 miles. The fix is patience measured in seconds. Start it and let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds. No revving and no blipping the throttle to hear it. Then drive like there's a full cup of coffee in the holder for the first couple of miles. That's it. The drive-through can wait 90 seconds. Everything so far assumes you did the work yourself. The next one is for the day you paid someone else to do it. Mistake number 2, the sticker of trust. You hand over the keys. You get a windshield sticker and a receipt back, and you drive off trusting that everything under the hood happened the way the invoice says it did. Most shops do honest work, but I've seen too many cars arrive on a flatbed from 3 blocks away, and the stories rhyme. Oil drained and never refilled, a double gasket, a drain plug left finger loose by a tech racing a 10-minute service clock. It happens often enough that you shouldn't have to take anybody's word for it. Here's your real position. You are the last quality inspector the cheapest oil change in town will ever have. So inspect. Before you leave the lot, standing right there in the parking space, do 3 things. Pull the dipstick. The level should sit between the 2 marks, and fresh oil runs translucent amber, about the color of honey. If what's on that stick is black, your oil was not changed. Whatever the sticker on your windshield says, then look under the car. The ground should be dry. No fresh drips off the filter. None off the plug. Last, read the invoice. The grade and the amount should match what your engine calls for. 5 quarts of 5W30 means 5 quarts of 5W30, not house brand bulk oil at a synthetic price. 90 seconds, standing in a parking lot. And if a shop gets prickly about you checking their work, that reaction is information too. Trust is fine. Verification is free, so do both. Mistake number 1, the light you taught yourself to ignore. The number 1 spot doesn't belong to a wrench mistake at all. It belongs to what drivers do with the oil life monitor once the change is finished. 2 halves to this. First, reset it every single time. Skip the reset, and the system spends the next year measuring a fiction. It will nag you months early, or worse, sit silent months too long while your fresh oil quietly dies of old age. Second, and this is the part almost nobody explains, understand what that monitor actually is. It is not a sensor sitting in your oil. It's an algorithm. General Motors runs one of the oldest and best documented versions. It works by tracking engine revolutions, temperatures, cold starts, and idle time. From those numbers, it calculates how much life your oil should have left. Notice what's missing from that list. It never sees your oil. It doesn't know the level. It can't spot a leak, and it can't tell whether the wrong grade went in. It simply assumes the change was done right. So that old argument about whether to trust the light or the dipstick has a simple answer. Trust both, because they're doing different jobs. The monitor is your calendar. The dipstick is your eyes. 30 seconds with the stick once a month catches what no algorithm ever will. One more thing that algorithm does know. Short trips are brutal on oil. Say most of your driving is 10 minutes at a time. The engine never gets hot enough to boil off the moisture and fuel building up in there. That's severe service. Change earlier than the maximum interval, whatever the marketing on the bottle promised you. When the light finally says it's time, it isn't a suggestion. Sludge doesn't send a warning first. Bonus, the 2-minute seal of approval. Here's the habit I promised you at the start. Step 1. Start the engine and put your eyes on the oil pressure light before anything else. It should glow when the key turns, then go dark within a second or two as pressure builds. If it stays lit longer than that, shut the engine off. Don't rev it. Don't give it a second to sort itself out. That stubborn light is a double gasket, a loose plug, or missing quartz, announcing themselves before any damage is done. Step 2. While it idles for the next minute, take a flashlight and look underneath. The filter seam should be dry, and so should the drain plug. A fresh change is exactly when leaks show themselves. Catching one at idle in your own driveway beats catching it as a warning light on the interstate. Step 3. Shut it down, wait 2 or 3 minutes for the oil to settle, then pull the dipstick. There's a reason this one comes last. The new filter drank up to a quart of what you poured in, so the level drops after that first run. Top it back to the mark. 2 minutes, $0, and every mistake on this list caught before it cost you anything. That's the checklist the trade has worked to for 30 years. Now you know what to catch after an oil change, but 19 more traps hide inside the change itself, and some cost more than anything on this list. We ranked every one of them in the video on your screen right now. Click it before your next oil change.